The season finale of Loki is done and dusted. Let's talk about it. Okay, so it's now officially over. Loki Season 2 is done and dusted. All 6 episodes now out there for you guys to go and binge if you haven't watched it. Man, what an absolute insane episode this was. And it's a fitting finale for what has been easily Marvel's best show on Disney+. It easily has been. None of the other ones compare at all to Loki for me. And this season finale, I felt like, is definitely the strongest finale. It's up there with season 1 of Loki as easily the best finale in the MCU when it comes to the shows. Now, what I love about this finale is the way that it wraps up everything, and it wraps up Loki as a character himself. Now, we start off where we left off last episode, where Loki is now, understanding that he can control the time slipping and trying to become more advanced with that. How can I, control that? And look, dude, man, that is an insane power to have. A technique like that, to be able to control time itself, makes him one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now. Like, it's just absolutely insane power. So he's obviously going back, and we have this really fun montage where we see Victor Timely just getting killed over and over again as Loki tries to develop a plan to stop this whole loom just exploding, trying to save the TVA. And he eventually goes through centuries of time, what seems to be time, but obviously in the TVA, time doesn't move the same. So he's going back and forth, learning from OB and learning, the ins and outs of physics and how everything works. Like, that is some dedication. And, it's coming from a character of Loki to go and do that is just absolutely like a massive 180. So we have all that going on, him trying to do that, and then when he figures it out, and it doesn't work, he then goes back to the moment where we see He Who Remains. And I love this whole, moment with He Who Remains with Loki, where he is the one that was constantly putting Loki in this situation. He gave Loki the ability to be able to time slip. That's pretty insane that it was He Who Remains who did this. And that conversation that they have, and like, look, man, Loki, you have an option. Like, you can, sit here with me. Sacred timeline. That's it. There's nothing else. And when he finds out that the loom is just a failsafe, it just changes his whole perception on everything that's going on. And the realization, I thought at that moment, I was like, dude, he's going to have to kill Sylvie. Like, is this going to end with Loki killing Sylvie? After that whole first season, he's now going to have to make this tough choice of killing Sylvie. So you have that. And then you get into the final bits where he, goes back and talks to Mobius for the very first time, and just this beautiful conversation, this beautiful dialogue between the two that makes him realize what he actually has to do. And then you get to the final moments where we see Loki go out there himself, knowing what he must do. And it's such a powerful character moment, especially for a character like Loki. Remember the first time we met Loki, the guy who wanted a throne, who, the one of the greatest villains in all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, this guy just wanted power, wanted a throne. We knew more about him, and then we get, that moment in Ragnarok where he comes around and his brother, it's like, I thought of the world of you, and like, you see this whole interaction, and then he dies, trying to save his brother. You have that, the moment where he realizes his mum dies. This selfish person, this absolute arrogant, selfish God of Mischief, to have a moment where he must realize that the only way everything can be saved is him taking the selfless route, giving up his freedom, giving up his free will to go out there and to hold everything together. It is a beautiful moment. It is shot visually stunning. And just the transformation of him, with the horns coming out, with him walking up, holding him, the cape, him getting the golden throne there, sitting on it, and then bringing everything together to hold it into one, to keep the TVA there, to hold the multiverse in his palms. It's absolutely insane. He now has to stay there and hold it together. It takes you back to the moments where, he had those moments with Odin, where, Odin had this vision for Loki to, bring the realms together, the 9 realms together, to be that peace. between two things, to be that bridge. If only Odin could see him right now. Not only is he bringing peace to that, he is holding the multiverse together at this point in time. He has become this villain turned into one of the greatest heroes in the MCU. It is just phenomenal character development. Loki has easily become one of the best characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Easily. And just like this whole moment, like there's a moment there where I'm thinking I would just love for Thor and Odin to just, and his mother, to just see Loki just at this moment make this sacrifice to hold everything together, to be that hero. That was just, it's just insane. It is insane. And it's a phenomenal job writing that character. And then you have Mobius as well. You know, the realization that he's become best friends with Loki and that his best friend sacrificed his own freedom so that he could experience life to the fullest. Like, it's just so good. And then Sylvie as well. Like, it's just been an absolutely fantastic show. And it's just that whole final moment with Loki walking up those steps, you know, holding the things together, the score, the visuals, everything about it was just absolutely spectacular. Like, it would have been great to see him interact with Thor and Odin again, yes, but it didn't need to be in there. It didn't need to be, and I'm glad they just didn't throw Thor in there as like a cameo. Be like, hey, look, guys, here's Thor. He's in here as well. And that's what I love about this one. It's a story about Loki. You know, it's about him, you know, changing as a person. And now, where do we go from here? Loki is holding everything together. How is everything going to go now? Like, that's what I mean. It's just going to be insane moving forward now with everything going on. Obviously, we got the closure of Renslayer as well. She's getting eaten. She's getting turned to dust completely. And it's just, I've really enjoyed this show so much. I enjoyed season 2. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Look, the whole first part of this episode was funny and enjoyable and fun, but then it got to the serious tone and like, there's no easy way to get out of this, and it doesn't just, you know, be funny for the sake of it. It actually shifts the tone perfectly, and it balances them both out. And that's what I think it did really well. Because we have seen, you know, obviously, Ant-Man, Quantumania, and Thor Love and Thunder, we've seen that whole balance of comedy and serious tone not really be balanced. It's one extreme. It's always the high comedy, and it's like we just need to let things breathe sometimes. But I felt like this episode and this show as a whole gave us what we loved, the Mobius and Loki dynamic. They built upon that. They built upon Loki as a character, you know, expanded the lore a lot more. But then they also had the serious tone when things needed to get serious. There was no like joke in this last like second half of this episode. It was Loki's going through everything, and it's just him finding out that there's no other way except for him to sacrifice his freedom and hold everything together. I just think that's absolutely brilliant. So for me, huge hit, and I absolutely loved it. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you guys love it? Smash it down there, smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe. Peace out.